You are now listening to the Grio's Black Podcast Network, Black Culture Amplified. What's going on, everybody, and welcome back to Dear Culture, the podcast for, by, and about the culture. It's one of a podcast here on the Grio Black Podcast Network, which features a ton of Black content for you about all manner of cultural phenomenon. It displays how excellent we are on a constant daily basis. You make sure you check out the other shows on the Grio Black Podcast Network. But here at Dear Culture, we get into it. We break down and talk about different aspects of people and places and things that are doing awesome stuff. And today is no different. We are going to talk to somebody who created a game that celebrates hip hop and drinking responsibly, but celebrates hip hop. We're celebrating 50 years of hip hop all year long here at the Grio and probably everywhere else you're paying attention to Black cultural phenomenon. So if you will please put your hands together for a person who created a drinking game that is a hip hop trivia and argument game. I keep saying drinking game, but we need to focus on the fact that it's a community game. It's a party game. There you go. It's a party game. It's a community game. It's a game that allows you to debate and argue the way you do in your group chats in person. I'm assuming when you do live events, there are fights that break out.
See, any Fast and Furious movie except the whack one with Ja Rule.
So please put your hands together for University of Dope co-founder, creator, A.V. Perkins. How are you doing?
Hello.
How are you doing today?
I'm doing great. You know, it is a sunny day. That means spring is around the corner. So I'm ready to be outside. More outside. Yes.
Yeah. Spring is sprunging around here. And that's a beautiful thing because that means there'll be more gatherings. Like people already gathering a lot, but now there's going to be more gatherings. So there's more opportunities to play your game, which I know happens often.
Then this is going to, go against the grain. But I'm going to say Drake got to go. He already been around long enough. He had his run. And I'm a DJ, so I think I should know.
So let's start at the top here. For one, tell me about the game. Then we're going to get a little bit into your background and how we got here in the first place. So tell me about University of Dope.
Okay. University of Dope, our tagline, it is a disrespectful party game for hip hop lovers. So that's why I talked about like, hey, we use party games instead of drinking because then there's that one person or 10 people, whoever, I don't drink. That's fine. I love kombucha too. I don't even think Swiss Beats don't drink. He can play, right? Drink and get your wheatgrass, whatever. But our game is not trivia based. It's majority rules. So that's another thing that we questions that we get from people like, oh my gosh, I don't know. They get intimidated thinking they need to be Fab Five Freddy and know all of the history of hip hop to play. And you don't. Like, if you've watched 106 in Park with AJ and Free or TRL, Video Music Box, shows like that, you have a working knowledge of hip hop, you can play. So our game is majority rules, not trivia based. All you gotta do is know how to read the room, literally.
Facts. I mean, I'm somebody who's played this game. I have it, obviously. There's a copy of it back there, the packaging back here. You definitely do not have to be a hip hop head to play. You have to have an opinion to play. Like that's effectively what it comes down to, right? Like you need to be somebody who has an opinion and is willing to stand on that, or at least be able to hold up a card that says A, B, C, or D. That's what you got to be able to do.
And I tell people, just like how you didn't know the answer in school, choose C. If you don't know, when in doubt, choose C. That worked for me in college. It will work for you in this game.
So let's talk a little bit about your story and how you got here. I love like your personal bio where you say if Martha Stewart and Snoop Dogg had a baby. I need you to explain that. Yeah, please. Let's break down your bio. And I want to ask you one of the corniest questions of all time from one of my favorite movies of all time, because this is a hip hop party game. So courtesy of Brown Sugar, when did you fall in love with hip hop?
All right. So I'll answer those back to back. So with Martha Stewart and Snoop Dogg having a baby, it being me, my background is originally in film and television, doing props and set decorating. So I've always worked with my hands, making stuff, being crafty. And then eventually that led me into blogging. And that led me into doing on-camera work for HGTV, Apartment Therapy, and other home and garden type of platforms. So that's my Martha Stewart side. Like I love making, you know, crafts, cookies, recipes, all of that jazz. Now my Snoop Dogg side is University of Dope. I love hip hop. I am a child of the culture. I'm gonna start using that, child of the culture. I like it. But go. Yeah, you know, I'm a child of the culture, so I appreciate both. And when people hear it, right? Like if you hear them separately, it sounds crazy, but they get along so well, it makes sense. So if you know her, you know him, and if you know him, you know her. And thankfully, they have not done too many things problematic where it makes my brand problematic. You know, they give you just enough spice. You know, between Prison Time and We Don't Love These.
They both done jail. They both done jail. They both got street respect.
Exactly, but it's like it's not. You know, she did like a little bit of fraud, right? Not like killing people, so it's a little bit. You know, so it's enough. We're like, oh, Martha, we love it, and you know, Snoop's been pimping, but it's like family friendly. So
family friendly pimping. Okay, all right. So when did you fall in love with hip hop? Where's that part?
That part. Okay, I think. I usually say it's my older brother hazed me into loving hip hop. I, you know, being an older brother, he's like, my sister, you need to know the lyrics of songs. And I was just a casual listener like other people were. And with that, I just, you know, always having it around me. I have family members who, you know, performed, been in the industry, doing various things. So it was just kind of like starting to like osmosis into my household. So that is how I fell in love, in a nutshell, how I fell in love with hip hop.
We're going to take one quick break here. And when we come back, we're going to talk about how you created the game and how you all came up with questions. Because I have some funny observations about that. So stay tuned right here on Dear Culture. All right, we're back here on Dear Culture. I'm talking to A.V. Perkins, one of the co-founders and co-creators of University of Dope, a hip hop party game that allows you to argue and debate the things that you were talking about your friends with, but for entertainment and joy purposes. And, you know, I have a couple questions. Well, one, how did you all create the game? And how did you all come up with some of the questions? Because I noticed there's a lot of nods to like pop culture. Like, for instance, like the nod to Dylon, like the Chappelle skit and stuff like that. But so many of the questions have nods to things that have happened that everybody, whether you are a hip hop head or a music head or whatever, are very familiar with in some way, shape, or form. So how did you come up with the game? How did you all come up with the questions you all were going to put into the game?
Well, these type of conversations is what Marion, my business partner, and I would discuss anyway. Just like we would go in rabbit holes just discussing hip hop. And we've been doing that for years. We met in college, actually. And that's where the term University of comes in, because we went to Central Connecticut State University. Shout outs to CCSU. And one day she came to visit me in Brooklyn from Connecticut. And I asked her if she can name all the members of Wu-Tang. She said yes. I didn't believe her. I said, okay, can you name them all after consuming adult beverages? And she said yes. And we thought this would be a great game. Like, we need to play this game. And we figured the RZA is a genius and he's already created it. So we Googled Wu-Tang drinking game. It did not exist. So we were like, we got to make it up because we are our target audience. So that is how we first came with the thoughts of the game. Like, what would we like to see?
Here we have a die-hard Wu-Tang fan, like a fanatic.
You got RZA, GZA, OZB, Inspector Deck, You God, Raekwon, Master Killer, Raekwon.
You said Raekwon twice.
Literally, like, you know, be the change you want to see in the world, I suppose, right? So that is what we wanted to see. And when it comes to the questions, you know, we have a certain tone of how we speak. So like I mentioned before, the tagline is a disrespectful party game for hip hop lovers. So we are saying things that you know you're saying with your friends, right? People have been arguing about Ether versus Takeover for
22 years,
half of our lives at this point, right? You know, so it's been a long time of even like those type of debates and who's the greatest of all time and who wouldn't be this person without this person. And, you know, we wanted to give different, like you mentioned, nods to culture, because even though, yes, it's like hip hop and it's rap, it's a part of an entire culture, right? Like it comes down to, we have a couple of cards dedicated to like hip hop fashion, right? Because hip hop is not in a bubble. We have a card dedicated to, adult beverages that people usually consume when they're participating in the culture. So yeah, we just have all of those things. So it's like our love letter to all of y'all, but we want y'all to laugh with us and us to laugh with y'all.
How hard was it to put a game together? Most people probably have no idea what it takes to do this. I mean, I know nothing about this process.
It is learning curves like you wouldn't believe, because her and I, our background is not in gaming. Hers is in event planning and business. I'm in communication, art, film, along those lines. So that's where like the creativity comes in. I do the marketing and the press. She does operations. So us coming together, it's, well, one, figuring out what you're good at, and whatever you're good at, just let that person like handle it. So that's where I do this and she does that. Make sure we have decks. I make sure people gonna buy them at some point, right? So that's kind of like with that. But what we were doing when we first started, we had a list of rappers that we were like, okay, we would like them to be in the game, so we don't want to forget anybody. But also we would keep track of how many times, like on a spreadsheet, how many times they were mentioned. Because like, yes, we do plan on creating other decks for like regional areas, because we do have we're from the Northeast, so Northeast kind of like slant. But that's where hip hop started anyway. So, go write about it to your parents. I don't care, right? we'll get to everybody else in its entirety in due time. But now, today, fast forward 6 years later, it is a good balance, because it was very much more like heavier on East Coast. And then also it was harder. It was a harder game. So we had to focus on, we want to make it fun, right? Because we're not a trivia game. And then we realized there's some people that may not be as popular to the general masses of hip hop consumers, right? Because there's the people who are like, they know every single thing. They know every.
Ma'am, you have YouGot in this game, so you still got some of those. You still got some of those things that people like. Who?
With YouGot in the game, so okay, YouGot's in the game, but it says like Wu-Tang next to it, so you could kind of put 2 and 2 and 3 together.
Right.
But like MF Doom is not in the game. See what I'm saying? So It's like that. And then also, even with that, we had to set up a range of time of who to be in the game. So they're not too old. Like Rakim is in the game. Right. Curtis Blow is, I believe he's still like in there. He should definitely still be in the game. Right. So it goes as early as that, but it does like, it kind of cuts off with like Drake, Big Sean, Kendrick, like that incoming class, J. Cole, because we realized we were putting,
I think Future's in here.
Yeah,
right.
So there's some outliers, right?
Right.
But it's like, but the chunk of people are golden era. So even though, Kumo D, like they're there, KRS-One, but there's a little bit more, like the block is a little bit more tighter for the majority of the cards. Between, like golden era, New Jack Swing, like that kind of time up until now. Now there's some folks who are in there, like Cardi. Cardi's on the card. But we decided that, okay, if Cardi stopped making music, which can very well happen because she's been on one album, she can very well stop making music. People will still remember her. So she's like Facts. On a card, but we made the mistake in our first iteration. We have people who are not making music anymore on a card. And that makes it difficult for us. So that's kind of like how we had the idea of how we were strategizing with putting people in the game. And then we just started making questions and plugging people in who make sense in those questions and making it fair. Because like sometimes when, for instance, our most controversial card is erase one person from hip hop history, Biggie, Nas, Jay-Z, or Tupac, right? Now there's people who don't answer that. Which I pulled out,
by the way, because I'm like, who does that? Like, what do you, that's like a fight question.
We're villains, right? Mistress of mayhem. But yeah, we have that card and there's people who don't want to answer it. And they'll say something like, oh, I'm getting rid of Vanilla Ice. And it's like, there's a reason why Vanilla Ice is not on that card. Because that wouldn't be fair to Vanilla Ice because everyone would just pick them. So our other cards, we design like that too. So people who are kind of like grouped together, they are in similar bracket.
So you said you all made a list of like rappers that you wanted to be in the game, but I imagine rappers you sent the game to and stuff like that. So I'm guessing a lot of people who are in the game have received copies of it
not always. Not always, because sometimes people are just hard to reach, right?
Yeah, so I was gonna go. That's where I was gonna go. Like, what's been the response in general to it? Because I know people who have this game. I've played it. I've seen people play it. It's fun, right? Especially because it's not trivia, right? It's just debating and arguing. You can play the same game 30 times in a row and have a completely different outcome every time, depending on who's playing. Like, you play this twice in a row, you don't know all the answers already, right? So it's a breathing, living game and stuff like that. So what's been the response? And I know you all specifically go do like game nights for people and stuff like that. So tell me about all that, the response and how that part goes. Like,
yeah, well, we have
the experience.
Yes, the experience. We have a friend. His name is June Archer, and he has a show on This Is 50. And some of his interviews, he will ask people questions from the game.
Best song about strip clubs. A, I'm in love with a stripper, T-Pain. B, Pop That, French Montana. C, Tip Drill by Nelly. Or D, Bands That Make a Dance, Juicy J. 2, Pop That. It's
a very surreal experience to see people who inspired you with their art, with their work, living their life, their truth. They've inspired us to create something, and then you kind of like see it go back to them. It's almost like playing tennis. It's like volleying back, right? And then, or is that volleyball? Whatever. I'm not a sports person. It goes back. It's going, it's reciprocal. And seeing them react to their name being on a card, right? And they're like, wait, what is this? This is great. So there's a really warm reception from them. And then there have been times when artists have gotten a hold of our game and talked about it on social media, and we have no idea how they got it. And like early on this happened, I believe it was, oh my gosh, it was Ninth Wonder. To this day, don't know. This was literally like in our first or second year. Have no idea how he got a hand on the game. He like posted it on one of the cards on his Instagram. And it was a One Gotta Go, Black Thought, Mos Def, Talib Kweli, and Common, right? And then you see people commenting in his comment section, and Black Thought's there, and everyone's like reacting like, who's thinking of this? What is this? So it is good to see it's still getting out there in different ways.
Yeah, no, that's dope. And that's a very cool experience to have, right? When the people that you're talking about are literally weighing in on the thing. I mean, I don't know if Black Thought's gonna get in there and say, yo, Talib gotta go, but you know what I mean? Just to be like, well,
He may not say it in the comment section, but I know he done leaned over to Quest and said something probably. You know what I mean?
Oh, absolutely. You know, absolutely they're arguing about this type of stuff. All right, we're going to take another break right here, and we're going to come back. We're going to talk about a big announcement that you all made about this game recently and the availability of it. And then we're going to have some fun with some of the questions on your game. I want to play University of Dope with you. And get your take on some of your own questions that you all have. So stay tuned right here on Dear Culture. All right, we're back here in Dear Culture with A.V. Perkins talking her hip hop party game, University of Dope. Now, you all recently, and it was this year in 2023, made a big announcement about the game and its availability. Please share that. I don't want to take that. Please share that announcement that you all made.
We are now available in Target stores nationwide. Every Target, we are available. The first card game dedicated to hip hop culture is now the first hip hop card game in Target nationwide during Hip Hop 50. Like, clap for a heavyweight champ, me, right? Yeah.
Congratulations, yo. That's a big deal. For one, everybody goes to Target, and two, it's like people see. I can't imagine what was it like for y'all seeing your creation like in the Target.
So it was one of those, obviously, if you are creating, it's a surreal experience, but we also knew it was coming. So you're like holding on to it. So you can't tell anybody for months. And then its rollout was the first week in January. But our surprise was people started seeing it in stores before Christmas.
Oh.
Yeah, so the first person who saw it and sent me a screenshot of it or a picture, they were in Vegas. So now it's even more amazing because we're based on the East Coast. So the first sighting is way out there, so it's not regional. Nothing wrong with regional because if you in there, you in there.
Right.
But it's the flex feels bigger, right? It's like, oh, first in Vegas, right? So there's that, and then also seeing the pictures coming of people seeing and taking pictures with the game. And I tried to go to Brooklyn Targets and get it, and it was gone. They were sold out in Brooklyn. So I haven't even got a chance to see it on the shelves in Brooklyn. I had to see it in Connecticut where my mother lives. And it's very rewarding.
I mean, that's so cool. For one, I'm proud of y'all. Congratulations. It's a big deal to have something that you created raised to the level of a national distributor wanting to place it among all these games and things in their store. Like that's a really big deal. But it also makes me wonder, like, there aren't a lot of hip hop games in general out there, are there? Like, I feel like you would probably know better than most.
Correct. There aren't. Like, there's some that it's more so Black culture, right? And Black culture is not necessarily synonymous with hip hop culture, but there are a lot of overlaps. Like, I will not, this is ours, but we do share hip hop with the world, but other parts that are Black cultures, like specifically like us and other diaspora things, right? So yeah, there's other games that are more so like, even like Culture Tax. I love them. There's some things that are like hip hop related, but it's definitely more so
right
Black culture related with that tie-in. And there's other brands like that as well.
Like, what advice do you have for people who are trying to build something from the ground up and are grinding and hustling through it to keep going? Like, what's your advice for entrepreneurs and those who see what you all have been able to do and are trying to get there?
There's two schools of thought when it comes to entrepreneurship. There's some people who are like, okay, do what makes money, right? Which makes sense because we're not here for charity, right? So wherein, let's say you decide what's something popular. I don't know. Let's say someone want to make a nail shop. But if you have no interest in doing nails, that may be difficult, especially when you don't have the capital to hire people to do that part. Now, if you have the capital to say, hey, I want to just go into money generating activities, perfect. Now, if you have to really DIY things yourself in the beginning, definitely let it be something that you are passionate about, because that is what is going to keep you going. Like, if I didn't like hip hop at all, this would be a very difficult thing. If I didn't like my team, that's another part, right? Working with people that you like, admire, and respect, because life be lifing. And in 6 years, life be lifing. And in 6 years, we have all seen different points of our lives, kids, marriages. I ain't got no kids, but kids, marriages, deaths, like things have happened that can, mental health issues, like things happen, but you have to be able to respect the people that you work with and know that what you're doing is bigger than your individual self, but you still need to honor your individual selves.
Okay. Good advice.
Just do
Good
it.
advice.
Just do it.
Yeah. I mean, that's typically my advice to most people. Like, if you have something you want to do, you need to be doing that. Like, if you want to achieve success in it, it needs to be the thing that you're able to focus on as much as humanly possible. And you gotta love it. Now, you gotta love it in a way that, it sustains you. Because I think most of us are probably don't have all that money where we can dump money into the thing and hope it just brings back more money later. I think most of us are probably on the DIY end of it, where it's like you're building
you need
something.
To have that passion for that motivation.
Time for a quick break. Stay with us. All right, we're back here on Dear Culture, and we're about to play University of Dope, which is cool because we're doing it with one of the creators of the game. So let's hop into this. So people can get an idea who don't know what this game is all about. Let's hop into this. So I'm going to ask you some of the questions that you have here. Now, since it's just you and I playing, we're not going to use the ABC Dear cards, but I want your take on some of this stuff. So we're going to start with one of my favorite questions to ask people, and I have an answer that's not on your card, which led me to a suggestion I had. So you're stranded on a deserted island. Which album would you listen to? A, Black on Both Sides by Mos Def. B, The Miseducation of Lauryn Hill by Lauryn Hill. C, 3 Feet High and Rising by De La Soul, which you can now stream, or D, The Chronic by Dr. Dre? Which one are you listening to?
I'm listening to The Miseducation. Yeah, I'm going with that. Lauren, she gave us a healthy blend of everything, right? It feels like this is not saying the others are not a complete album, but I feel like Miseducation is very much a complete album body of work. So yes, I'm going to.
Yes, I.
Yeah. Okay, so which one are you choosing then?
Of the ones that are here, I'm taking Black on Both Sides by Mos Def.
What's your name, love? Where you came from? Neck and wrist laced up, very little makeup.
Which is odd because The Chronic was one of my favorite albums for like ever. But as I got older, I got tired of the profanity, like being like, I don't know why, like my age has turned me into like my ears changed.
It definitely does. Your ears definitely change because I experienced that as well. Like sometimes I can't listen to album cuts, like because also just growing up I listened to a lot of like radio edit, right? And I just having this conversation recently, like how some songs they were completely rewritten for the radio,
completely different songs, right?
No keys, like you really could have just left it like that, but alas, I'm not going to censor your art. But
all right, so here's another question that you have that I'm going to make a suggestion for y'all. You can have this for free for another card whenever you decide to make an upcoming card. You're performing at the Apollo. Which song are you singing so you don't get booed? And by the way, this is from the Anatomy of R&B pack that you all released as well, which is that also in Target?
That is not in Target yet.
Okay.
We are working and manifesting on that. But the R&B deck is available on our site and Amazon and different brick and mortars across the country.
Got you. Okay, so the options here are Never Would Have Made It by Marvin Sapp, We Fall Down by Donnie McClurkin, Shackles by Mary Mary, and Melodies from Heaven by Kirk Franklin and the Family. Which song are you singing so you don't get booed at the Apollo?
Melodies from Heaven, because that's my jam.
Melodies from heaven, lay down on me.
So here's the funny thing, I guess I'm probably doing that one too because I feel like more people are going to sing along, making it harder to find a reason to boo me. But this made me think of the fact that, like, which one of these songs would you actually play in the club, right? So there was that video of somebody's Melodies from Heaven playing in a nightclub and the dude, like the real brolic looking dude singing along. And it actually started a debate in my own house about like what songs every Black person should know. But I've also been in a club when like DJs will randomly throw on like Kirk Franklin Stomp or, you know, like you hear like songs where people just start singing along. And I'm like, I wonder what, like the Never Would Have Made It remix that hit like TikTok or whatever, like that joint would jam in the club, right? So I'm like, which one of these would actually get played in the club is like a break?
I've heard renditions of Melodies from Heaven. I know you've heard it too. And it kind of cuts in Crush on You.
Yes, I have. Yes.
So exactly. So it's like, wait a minute. So I think Melodies will definitely like play in the club because they're already doing it with with the Crush on You remix. And I think the first time I heard that, it was Kirk Franklin himself. So that man is Puff Daddy for the Lord.
There you go. Yeah, you facts. Yeah, big time. All right, so here's another question that I thought was funny because you're missing like the most obvious, most important option on here. So best music video shot in the rain. This one is also from the Anatomy pack. Icebox, Omarion, Summer Rain by Carl Thomas, Umbrella by Rihanna, or Rain on Me by Ashanti. And how in the world is Ray J's One Wish video not on here?
So here it goes. I knew you were going to say that, right? Now, I told you how we have the list, right? We also have the algorithm on how many times people can be on a card featured. And then sometimes it kind of like gauges with like relevancy or whatever, right? Ray J has his own card. So of his very own card, I think it's best. I think it's like best Ray J video. Now, in the card, One Wish is on that card, but I do respect that thought. But we debate about this all the time to make sure everyone is kind of like fair, because we put there who we gonna take out, Ashanti, you know, and she's capped out too. So yeah.
Time for a quick break. Stay with us. And we're back. You could do, so this is the other thing that I thought, I was like, you know what I would have just done? I would have just written in on this one. Like, we got to write in Ray J, because that's clearly the best music video shot in the rain. I was like, what if there was a write-in line on some of these cards so people could argue that?
So there are. You have to look through your deck. Before these purple boxes came in, our boxes were black and white. And something happened. It was like an old manufacturer, and the manufacturer added 2 cards that were blank. It had the label on the back, but there was nothing on the front. So we were just gonna like, okay, we're gonna play. They didn't charge us extra, but that was a mistake from the manufacturer. So we played it off and say, hey, y'all can make your own cards. So that is how that started. And you kind of have to be agile and pivot, but that was literally a mistake. If you have the OG deck, the blank cards are literally for no reason. So now we incorporated the blank cards where you can make your own question, and we set it up where, you know, if it's a 1 gotta go, you fill in your 4, whoever you want to do, and, you know, other questions like that. But we do make it so you can fill it in.
Which one's the best music video? Icebox, Summer Rain, Umbrella, Rain on Me. That isn't obviously Ray J's One Wish.
Icebox.
Yeah, I think I have to go with that one too.
Yeah, and even if Ray J was on that card, it would still be Icebox.
Well, no.
It would.
Absolutely not. Dude, One Wish is not only one of the greatest videos in the rain, it's one of the greatest videos, period. It's such a ridiculous video. That's why I love Ray J so much, because Ray J was like, man, I am going to be, like, he leaned so heavily into the ridiculousness that it's enjoyable. The Ray J experience is an enjoyable one.
But Omarion told people he was a refrigerator. You know, like, that's ridiculous too.
Okay, fair. But in One Wish, he asked, the song is One Wish, and there's like 14 wishes in the song. I counted. I wrote an article about this where I literally went wish by wish on all the wishes he has in the song.
Yeah. Wish
Fair
will be
enough.
best friends, be there to the end. Yeah. Okay.
All right,
Fair.
last question, and then we're going to take a break. Which crew would you choose as teammates on Family Feud? A, Dipset, B, Cash Money, C, G Unit, or D, Rough Riders?
Rough Riders.
Why Rough Riders?
I mean, it would have to be all of them. So this has to, you know, make sure like the locks and everyone is Eve, everybody, Dragon. I think it would be really fun, like commentary. If I was with G Unit, I feel like we wouldn't even be like a family. Somebody would fight, right? So we can't even be a family on Family Feud. Dipset is cool. I just feel like they're not gonna answer the questions that need to be answered, right? And then Cash Money, I don't know why I wouldn't put them to be Family Feud, but yeah, Rough Riders. I feel like we would get some answers and actually have a shot at winning.
Yeah, I'm going like 2003 Dipset, because that seems like the most fun group of individuals to ever be around. They might never answer, but it's going to be a lot of shenanigans on that stage. Yeah. And that's good for TV. They feel like they're too serious. Everybody else feels like they might be a little bit too serious.
I feel like Jada would answer a question and possibly get them right too. Styles P, they might be serious, but if I'm
I feel like now they would. I agree. Like the version of like Rough Riders that would exist with the locks now, 100%. Like they would. I mean, Jada Kiss got things to sell. So does Styles. You know, they legitimately have businesses. They need to make sure that you know that they're the kind of people you should buy things from. So they're gonna be on their P's and Q's while being entertaining. All right, well, we're about to take one last break, and then we're going to come back with my favorite segment on the show. We get into some Black fashion, some Black recommendations right here on Dear Culture. All right, we're back here on Dear Culture with A.V. Perkins, and we just played gave a taste of playing University of Dope. Now, usually there's more people. Everybody's on 100. So it's probably arguments and all that kind of stuff. We were just answering questions, politely responding to one another's responses. My group chats are completely different than everybody. Nobody cares about anybody else's opinion. We just argue.
We didn't even get into the pop quizzes either. The pop quiz is where things get real dicey. But yes.
Fair enough. Well, we're going to do one more question because I think this is probably one of the kind that would start all kinds of arguments, and I'm curious about your own response. And it's one you mentioned earlier. So erase one person from hip hop history. A, Nas, B, the Notorious B.I.G., excuse me, C, Tupac, or D, Jay-Z. Who are you getting rid of?
I'm getting rid of Jay-Z.
That is such an interesting
just because if I have to get rid of one, I'm gonna do that. Or I can go between. Depends on how I'm feeling that day, but I definitely can go between Nas or Jay-Z. So for different reasons. One, I like to shake the table, so I know people are gonna be like gasping, right? But that's how I generally feel. But we leave our questions open-ended for you can get rid of them for whatever reason. Like Jay-Z made the rent in Brooklyn go up. How about that? Yeah,
fair.
He did.
Okay.
He did. Built Barclays right in the middle of the street. Now I got to worry about that. It's The Rock. No, it's the rent. So
I like that. I don't know who I would get rid of. I mean, honestly, I would probably get rid of Nas, but I think that's also the wrong answer. I guess there's no real right answer here, but like Biggie is like one of the few rappers that even today still manages to impress me when I listen to songs. Like I'm still impressed with him lyrically on Kicking the Door. I can't lose that in my life. Right?
Yes.
Tupac for me is Tupac. I mean, I'm a Southerner. Tupac was one of our, I can't, if I get rid of Tupac, then I get rid of the legacy of Tupac and everything that came along with him as one of the most important figures that ever existed in like pop culture. I don't know if I can do that. Jay's my favorite rapper. Man, this is a struggle because then I got to get rid of Illmatic. But that also means I get rid of Nostradamus. So I guess that's not a loss.
I
don't know.
It's
hard.
Make a solid argument to get rid of and keep each person. So it's literally who you're playing with. Like if you're playing with people from Queens, they may not get rid of Nas. But if you're playing with people from DC, they tend to get rid of Jay-Z. So we're like low-key the Hip Hop Census Bureau. That's our statistical study. Like people in the DC area really do get rid of Jay-Z. I don't know what he did out there, but they not with it.
I mean, real talk. You just might have said this accidentally. I don't know if you ever thought about that, but if there's a digital version of this that people are playing, you literally are like a data collection agency, right? Like where do people from certain regions, like who do they index towards and all that kind of stuff? Like that's legitimately like a data collection apparatus that you could have on hip hop.
Yes, as we move further with our brand, we're already like in the tech space using with our live events because people vote using their smartphones. So we are already in the tech space in that capacity, but we want to just go more into it as time goes on while still keeping the nostalgia of a tabletop game. We want to like bridge the gap between tabletop and tech.
Time for a quick break. Stay with us. And we're back. Okay, well, that was a lot of fun. We're going to get into some of the other fun things that we like to do here at Dear Culture, which are my favorite segments. And we're going to start with a black fashion, which is a confession about your blackness. Something people might be surprised to learn about you since you're black. Do you have a black fashion?
I do. I don't know how to play spades.
Yeah, okay. All right. I'm tired of you people not knowing how to play spades while also having sympathy for you people that don't know how to play spades because us people that do play don't really like to teach y'all who don't how to play spades. I don't even know how you learn how to play spades nowadays.
You know what? And that's fine because I made the decision decades ago that I wasn't interested in learning. So not only do I not know how to play, I'm not going to learn how to play. People, and every time I say I don't know how to play spades, people want to start, trying to teach you at the festivities. No, I want to be by the potato salad and the liquor table. I don't want to be learning how to and books and reading. No. Catch me somewhere else. Catch me outside. How about that?
Yeah, admittedly, I've never tried to teach anybody who said they can't play how to play. Like I'm not invested in anybody else's spades education at this point, oddly, which is a shame because I actually want more people to know how to play. Like I'm going to make sure my kids can play spades so that they don't have to say this on the 2030 version of or 2040 version of somebody's black fashion. So they'll have to pick something else.
Generational wealth. Got to break the curses.
There you go. All right. Well, to counteract your black fashion, which also is cool because you can't play spades, but you got another game that you bring to the party anyway, so you ain't got to play spades.
That's
message.
Part of my master plan. This is all because I don't know how to play spades. This is why I started this.
We ask people for a black recommendation, which is a recommendation about something for a buyer about blackness that other people should be up on, or that you think other people should be up on. Could be something that you have yourself, something that you're reading, anything that you think other people need to know about. Do you have a black recommendation?
My black recommendation is all things University of Dope, all things AV Does What, because that's me. That's my name. Get your deck from your local Target. Get your R&B deck from our site, universityofdope.com, or Amazon, or our various retailers across the country. We have merch on our site. We are bringing more merchandise, different merchandise to our site, but you can get shirts, hoodies, hats, mugs, all of that. Also, we have our live events that I kind of like touched on earlier. It's called You Dope Live. It is not, instead of voting with your choice cards, your ABCD cards, you vote with your smartphone. And the answers appear in real time. It's interactive. It's in person. We do it for private events, and we also do it for corporate events. We did one recently for Spotify and Diageo, and we've done Time Magazine, other, diversity groups. So if you want your boss to pay for it, listen, get into it. Juneteenth is around the corner. Black History Month is kind of gone, but it ain't nothing like some guilt. If y'all ain't do nothing last month, do it this month, Do it in March, do it in April, May, June, July, all year. Black History 365. So have your boss pay for the You Dope vibes, because we out here.
I love it. No pun intended, but that's dope. Like, I genuinely think that's a very cool marketing plan. It's a way to get these things out there. Everybody who plays it probably like, I need to get my own version of that to play at home. That's brilliant. I love it. Thank you. Thank you for being here and sharing about your journey and sharing about this game and playing along. Again, it's a great game. Like, I love the debate aspect of it. I love all things hip hop. So anything that has hip hop at its core is going to be of interest to me and lots of people like me. So where can people find you if you want to be found? And where can people, you already told people to go to Target, but tell them how they can also find out to sign up for these live events and stuff. Like, where can the people find you?
You can go to universityofdope.com for all of the things that I mentioned before. You can follow us, University of Dope, on Instagram, Facebook, but our platform mostly is Instagram. You can find me, AVDoesWhat, AV Does What, on all social media platforms. See me get my Martha and my Snoop on.
You definitely do. Listen, as somebody who is a friend of yours on Facebook in these places, like, you are not averse to starting a fire and then pouring gasoline on top of it.
So come enjoy the bonfire, okay? It's a good time.
Yo, that's your tagline. Come enjoy the bonfire right there. There's a whole tagline. Well, thank you for joining us here at Dear Culture. We genuinely appreciate your time and your innovation, and make sure you check out University of Dope and enjoy yourself. It's a fun hip hop party game. Well, my name is Panama Jackson. This is Dear Culture. Have a black one.